Hello, everyone. Hello, my friends. It has been a while, 18 months to be exact, since we last connected through the podcast, since we last spoke. It's May of 2023. I've been continuing to work as a coach for the Life Coach School, where I've had the honor of coaching over 5,500 sessions. It still blows my mind to think about that number. I've also gotten divorced. I spent over a year doing some amazing internal work that I call falling in love with myself. I went out into the dating world. I went on the dating apps for the very first time in my whole life. I fell in love with an amazing person. We were such a good match. We were healing each other. We loved each other deeply. We were planning a life together. And just after 13 months into our love story, he suddenly and unexpectedly died. So as of today, it's been a little over 10 weeks since his death. And in that time, I've still been coaching full-time, coaching for the school, taking good care of myself, and kind of learning how to navigate my own grief journey, which kind of brings us to why I'm updating you today. So, in all my years of coaching, I've learned some really profound things. The first one being that, my relationship with myself was really the most important relationship. I had been kind of navigating life, trying to figure out how to relate to other people, trying to be like the good wife, the good student, the good mom, the good daughter, the good friend. But in doing all of that, I I didn't really know myself, and sometimes just like forgot myself. And so I found myself in relationships I didn't want to be in, and I didn't like the version of myself I had become in those relationships. And I didn't like who I'd become because I wasn't listening to or honoring, my own instincts, my own intuition, my true self, my worth, my value. I was trying to do the right things without asking myself what the right thing was for me. And I learned how to find those answers from a place of unconditional love for myself. I went on a beautiful journey of meeting all the parts of myself, the parts of me that tolerated things I didn't want to tolerate, the parts of me that were saying yes to things I didn't want to say yes to, people pleasing, the parts of me that were desperately trying to matter, and seek love and validation outside of myself from other things, from other people. And I got to find out where that came from, and why I was making the choices that I did and that I had. And I learned to look at those things through the lens of so much love and compassion, which in turn, led to feeling really confident and empowered and just safe, safe and secure, like in my own mind, in my own body, in my own self. And I'm just so grateful for everything that has happened in my life that led me to that place, because I cannot even express to you with words. Words don't do justice to how incredible it is to have that kind of relationship with yourself. To always feel loved, to always feel safe, it's priceless. And the way that it has rippled out into my relationships with others has been so wonderful and so connecting and so meaningful. But another thing that I've learned, the way we think, the way we can learn to manage our minds and our thoughts, yes, that's really, really important. But really, that's just half of it. Now that I'm grieving the death of my love, I'm seeing another half. I'm seeing that it's more about like really experiencing things in the body. Like it's about learning how to be with and handle emotions. It's about feeling. And I've observed that I'm very good at self-coaching myself to feel better, which in turn I'm realizing has helped me actually avoid strong emotion. So like if a strong wave of emotion comes at me, I can go into my mind, I can go into my thoughts, and I can talk myself out of it. And while I'm doing it, it sounds kind, loving in my head, and it sounds like I'm just like making myself feel better. But what I'm realizing is I'm not fully feeling. I've found a very clever way to like push feelings back down and inside. And I've learned that I have kind of like a limit to how much emotion I'm willing to feel. And it goes both ways. It's not like I'm 100% open to all the positive emotions and only 50% open to the negative emotions. In fact, I've kind of learned to not even label them as positive or negative emotions. I think of it as energy now, but I've got a limit to how much energy I'm comfortable experiencing in my body. So I want to open up to this energy. I want to learn how to fully allow this energy to flow, and to like move through me. And I believe I can do that. In fact, I've had an experience once, a few months ago where I was meditating and kind of by accident, I realized that I was able to transform this kind of stuck energy into something really, really magical. In other words, like I was feeling icky. I had already done all of the kind of mindset coaching I could do. And I wanted to see what I could do with kind of this icky feeling energy that I was still felt was stuck in my body. And so I went through a process. Again, I don't even know how I did it really. It was kind of by accident. And I was able to sort of transform that energy, and it transformed into what I would call anger and then sadness. And then it became like this blissful, euphoric feeling. And, again, I'm not even really sure how I did it, other than I just must have been in such a state where I didn't have any resistance. And I want to get back to that state, of not having resistance. Now, I do think that I obviously I can do it. I was able to do it once. And I do think that I could do this work on my own and eventually get there to where I got good at that practice. But I also know from experience that by working with coaches and mentors that I will get there faster. And it's not that I'm in a hurry, but I will get there faster, and I will learn things that I don't even know that I don't know yet. And I love that. I love the idea of that. Like, teach me something I don't even know I don't know. So I realized I have this incredible community of coaches to tap into from all my years with the Life Coach School. So here's my plan. I have reached out to all my people in the coaching community, and I have asked coaches who specialize in emotional processing, in somatic work, work that just has to do with the body and not so much the mind and the thinking. And I've asked them to come walk alongside me and collaborate with me to join me on the podcast as the expert, and I'm going to be the client. So far, I have had over 40 genius coaches, all unique, and that they are each just beautiful individual human beings sharing their gift, and they'll be guiding me through my grief journey. And I want to do it live, and I want to share it with you because I want you to be able to see what this work looks like. I want you to be able to take what resonates and apply it to wherever you are in your journey. It doesn't have to be grief, it could be anything. I want you to see the power of this work and how it can transform our lives. I want you to see the power of self-love, the power of support and community, the power of being seen and heard by another human being, the power of not being alone, the power of surrender and growth that comes from that. And my hope is that something you see, something you hear, it helps you heal. My hope is that if you're looking for support and you see one of these coaches that I have on, you see them as like, oh, I resonate with them. I feel like they could help me. That could be the person to guide me on my journey. And for myself, since I believe my purpose on this earth is to become as much love and light as possible while I'm here. My hope is that in opening myself up fully to all of the human emotions that we experience, that will only guide me further towards that purpose. So just to catch up in other news, the Life Coach School itself is actually closing its doors. The CEO and owner, Brooke Castillo, is moving on in her own journey of life. And so that school is closing. So I'll no longer be coaching there. I'll be growing my own private one-to-one coaching practice where I help other people fall in love with themselves. And I'll also be contract coaching in another program for women coaches of any kind of coach. And that program is called Change One Woman. And that's where clients can get weekly private coaching from me and many other coaches, as well as group calls and community. So that's all very exciting. So lots of changes coming up the first of the year. So get ready, starting January 1st, just a couple days. I'll be releasing weekly episodes every Tuesday, and you can, of course, listen, but I really, really encourage you to watch the video recordings of these episodes because you're going to get the full experience that way. You don't want to miss out on like the human element of it, the human connection, the eye contact that you see between coach and client, the body language, the emotional expression. There's a lot going on in these episodes that don't involve speech. So, things that you'll miss just by listening to the audio. So make sure you subscribe and follow the podcast so you don't miss any episodes. And you can listen or watch here, or you can head over to the YouTube channel, which I've called The Healing Heart Journey with Sarah Bond, and you can watch the videos there. So you ready? It's going to be a wild ride, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for being here.